In this video, we'll discuss about two basic programs in Java. The first program, let's see. So here what I'm doing is here I'm printing simply a message, hello Java. So the first thing you need to write is the class name. So this is the basic template. I'll show once. It's a basic template that you should write in Java programs. So there should be a class because Java is object-oriented programming, so we treat everything as objects, and objects collection of objects is called class. So we'll write the um, object like class is a template of objects, right? So you need to write the class first and then create the objects as we wish. For example, if you need to add one more object, you can create one more object whenever you need it. So before that, we need the template. That means a blueprint. So that blueprint we write in the class. So here the name of the class is class name. So this class is a keyword. You need to write like this: class space class. So what is the name of my class here? Class name. So keep the first letter as capital, or every word first letter should be kept capital. It will be easy to read. Next thing is the execution of the program starts from the main method. Okay, so the execution here starts from main, that will be invoked by JVM, Java Virtual Machine. So in Java, everything for most of things we need objects. So to call methods and variables also we need object. But here this main method is called from JVM before creating any object. So we keep this as static. So the reason for keeping static here is so we don't need any object to call this method. So we'll learn more about objects and calling the members of the class in the coming classes. But you just remember that static is needed because we don't need any object to call the main method. And public, it is now you, because main is called from outside JVM, so you need to keep it public. It can be called from anywhere. And void, so the return type is void here. And string args, so now this is args is an array, so it accepts uh, a set of strings through command line. So when you give few arguments through command line, so we call them as command line arguments. So you can give multiple arguments. This that here string means string is a class. It is a predefined class which takes the arguments as strings. So if you pass two arguments, so those will be stored in args0, args1, like that, and you can use those things in the program, right? So now next we'll print a message, small message. So what is the message I'm trying to print here? I'm printing simply hello Java. So if you want to print something, some string, so you keep it in the double quotes. So what is the method that is used to print the string or any variables? So this method is println. Println, and here out is an object and system is a class. So we'll learn more about these things in the coming classes. So you just remember that system is a class, predefined class. Like string, system is also a class, and this out is an object. Out is an object and print is a method. So there is a predefined uh, class called print stream. So that is used for printing the uh, data to the console. So to print to call this method println or print, you can use print also. So we use this out object, and this system is a predefined class. So we'll learn about the input and output in the coming classes. And we are using this Genie IDE. So this, let's first compile this program. It is successfully compiled, build and run. So the message I am getting here is hello Java. So it is a simple program to print a message. And next we'll see another program. So we'll move a bit ahead. Now, as I told, object is a collection of objects is a class, or class is a template of objects. So whatever the behavior and attributes of a object, of the objects, we collect all those things and keep it in the class. For example, you can take a example of student. Student has a name, roll number, date of birth, and he has some. His behavior is like he has to study or write exams, participate in the events. Like, so, those things we keep it in the class. And once you keep the uh, variables and methods, then we can create as many objects as possible. That means if a student joins the class, so we'll create one object for the student, because already we know the behavior of the student and features of the student, and then we'll simply create one object with all those members. So here the members can be a variable. So this is a, see here, int I equal 10. So it is a member variable, and this method name, so this method name is a method. Okay. What it returns, it returns an integer value. So what is the name of the method? Method name of the method is method name. So when it comes to method naming, so you keep the first letter as small, first word first letter small, and the remaining words first letter should be capital. When it comes to class, all the words will have first letter capital letter, and when it comes to method, except first word, remaining all words first letter should be capital. So this my class here has two members. One is member variable and another one is member method, right? So when you create any object, so for that object, one copy of memory will be allocated, or one copy of these values will be stored in some memory location. So when object is created, this object will have these features and behavior. It is like building a building houses in a colony or gated community with same blueprint. So there will be one blueprint for all the houses. If there is a place and the customers wants to uh, build a house, so the house will be built according to the plan, so which is already written before constructing any house. So once the plan is ready, once the blueprint or template is ready, you can build as many houses as you want. Similarly here, once the variables and the methods are created, so we can create as many objects as we want. And correct. So next, as the execution starts from main method, we need to create a write the main method. So here again, same public static void main string arguments. Here it takes arguments if you give anything. And what I'm doing here, I'm now simply in this program, the objective is to create two members. One is uh, member variable and another one is member method. So next, once you create the members, you need to know what is there in the, what it performs. If it is a method, what it will do, and if it is a variable, what is the value it stores. Now let's see how to access those variables. So once we have members, how to access? So to access that, you need to create a object. Now let's see how to create object here. So to create object, we use a what do you call this? Is a operator. This operator is new operator. So it creates an object. So once let's divide this statement, line number 11. Let's divide this into two parts. The left side of the symbol equal and right side of the symbol. Uh, so left side, what we are doing here is we are creating a reference variable. So this is a variable which refer to the object. And what is the type of that object? My class. So that means as we have created the template, and then when you create an object, one copy of this members will be stored in the memory location. And on the right side of that one, new is a operator which creates an object, and this my class here with parenthesis is a constructor. So we'll see about constructor later. So this if you see the this is a method. So why it is called constructor? It is constructor because the class name and this method name is same. So this is used for initializing the objects, values of the objects. Like for example, uh, if you take once an object is created and the class has, let's say, 2 3 variables, so we need to initialize the values variables to some default values, like to 0 or blank or false. For example, when it comes to integer, we'll keep it as 0, default value is 0. If it is a boolean type, keep the default value as false, like that. So this my class, the constructor is used for creating initializing the values. So we call it as instantiating. So that means we are creating an instance and initializing the values. And now to access any variable or method, we need objects. If it is not static, we need to create objects. If it is static, we don't need object. So we can call them with the class name. Here, the variable I is not static, and the method is also not static. So we need to create objects. So what is the object that we have created? This obj name. So obj means object. Object name is the name of the object that is we are creating. Now to call the method members, we need object. So now here line number 13, what I'm doing is I'm calling the method. So what is the method here? Method name. So I'm calling the method by using the object. So object name dot method name. So that means if you want to call a method or a variable, the notation should be object name dot method name. Object name dot next line, object name dot variable name. So this is how we uh, uh, access the members of the class. So once the members of the class are there, we need object to create access the uh, variables or methods. So this is very important. Always remember that you need object to access the members of the class. If it is static, you don't need, otherwise you need object. Now let's repeat, let's go back again from to the beginning. So I've created a class. The name of the class is my class. So it has two members. One is member variable I, and second one is member method, that is method name. And what this method will do, it will simply return the value of I. And next void main is also important, necessary, because the execution starts from main method. And here I am simply printing a message like creating an object. And after that, this is important, what I'm doing here, I'm creating an object. So how to create an object? By using operator new, and this my class method is a constructor. And on the left side, object name obj name is a reference variable, so which refers to the object. So because on the right side we are creating an object and we are assigning that object to object name, so that it's like simply if you take the line number 2, 10 is a variable and we are storing in I. So now we can access this value 10 with the help of I. Similarly here, object name is a reference variable. And what is the type? The type of the object is my class. That means we can access these variables, member variable and member method with the help of this object name or object. So that is shown in the line number 14 and 15. So object name dot method name, object name dot I. So that means we are accessing these two members. Let's compile this. Right. So the message that I have got is creating an object I equal 10, I equal 10. So that means we are accessing I two times through method and through directly variable name.